happy that you're interested to be part of that community, because that's a very buzzing, thriving community. And we'll definitely, in the process of the quiz, share those details with you. But thank you all. As usual, no matter what's happening around us, we always make sure that we try and be ready and on time for the Game of Facts. It's always on Saturdays at 5 p.m. And in fact, this is the 33rd week. So those of you who have been with us on this journey, you've actually done quite a bit of quizzing in 2022. So if one of the things in resolutions of this year was to expand horizons, learn new things, I think you've done quite a bit, because we literally have the last 3 months of the year left. And I don't think you've done too bad, actually. So just very quickly, what the Game of Facts and what India Fact Quiz is all about. It's a movement to get people who are interested in facts together and try and instill the interest for data, statistics, logic, scientific thinking, testing your biases in the way we look at very simple things around us. So it's as simple as that. And we've been doing this for quite some time now, since 2020. And we hold an annual championship. We try and do whatever we can. We're a very small, straggly little team. But luckily, we're connected to India Spend, which is a data journalism newsroom. So a lot of the work really is done by them. And then we try and gamify it and make it a little more interesting for an audience like you to join us every week. And this way, you're also getting a sense of data, long form stories, things and progress that's happening in our country as we speak. All right. So with that, and of course, at the end of every quiz, because you give us your valuable time, and we really genuinely appreciate it, at the end of this quiz, you win a book. And the book this week that we've selected, because the Nobel Prize for Literature was announced earlier this week, and the author was an absolute surprise to most of us, at least here in India, we decided that we'll give her book. The Nobel Prize winner for 2022 is Annie Ernaux, and it's Ernaux. And her book is, this book that we're giving you is called Exteriors. Now, when I was sort of reading up about her, I haven't read a single book or an essay or anything about her, frankly, though she is, of course, very well known in France and maybe parts of Europe, but definitely not here. She's a person who comes from a very simple background, a very small world, and she writes about that world, and she writes about her experiences as a woman in that world. Exteriors is a bit of a departure from her typical pattern of writing, which is she's making observations of people that she sees while on her commute to the city or while going out for shopping for groceries. She's actually observing all those factors outside, and she's writing about it. So I thought that was fascinating. So we deliberately selected that book. It's called Exteriors. It's by this year's Nobel Prize winner, Annie Ernaux, and 3 top winners will get that book. And with that, I will now share my screen. I hope you've got the game pin. Today, we don't have poll questions. Really sorry about that. It's been a frazzled week for us. So I don't have the poll questions, and I am going to give you some time so that you get a chance to just get into the things. Rohit saying he's won the IFQ last week, but the English edition, but you haven't received your book. You'll get it. We definitely have a much better system now where we make sure you get your books and all of that. And last week's book was particularly beautiful, so we want to make sure that you definitely get it. Don't want you to miss that book. All right. So with that, I'm now going to share my screen. and I hope you can see your names on it. Any issues like that, please write to connect@indiafactquiz.com, and we will try and make sure that we address all your issues. The operative word being try. Okay, all right. So with that, we will, I think we're all set to start off with our 10 questions. Good news, no puzzle questions this week. So people who dread that, don't worry, we've taken care of that one. And we have the combination of true or false and multiple choice questions. And that's about it. All right, so here we go. If I probably can wait a couple minutes if anyone else wants to join in. Yeah, and then we'll get started. Right, okay, so we're going to get started, and we have the first question coming up. You've been doing 33 weeks of quizzing, so you should all be very proud of yourselves. And we're going to start with the first question. Right, okay. So here it is, the first question coming up. And double points for this one. The only state or union territory that has more female lawyers compared to male lawyers. So we don't have very many female lawyers. Judges, forget that. Even lawyers is a bit problematic. But there is one outlier state where there are more female lawyers than male lawyers. And those of you who went for Meghalaya, you are correct. In fact, this is the only state where there are about 57% female lawyers in the courts, and the Bar Council of India actually registers the female lawyers. And clearly, this is one outlier state that is doing very well. So the 20 of you that got this answer right, and you were very quick to answer it, you're going to see yourselves on the scoreboard. And here we have it. It's Anuj, Vanshika, Bharat, Paras, and Yukta. And we'll get into the next question. This is a true or false. There is a higher percentage of women lawyers in Manipur compared to Kerala. So we are comparing Manipur to the extreme east and Kerala to the extreme south. Is this statement true or false? And we all know Kerala clearly has done extremely well on many, many parameters. But in this one, it's really gratifying to know that Manipur has a higher percentage of female lawyers compared to the #1 ranking state on the SDG index, which is Kerala. All right. Another look at the scoreboard. It's Anuj, Vanshika, Yukta, Abhishek, and Paras, and we'll get into the next true or false. Double points for this one. There has been an increase in rainfall in the states of UP, West Bengal, Meghalaya, Nagaland. And is the statement true or false? We're talking about a 30-year record. And we're also talking about the southwest monsoon, which... So the 21 of you that said the statement is false, you are correct. In fact, in these states, there actually has been a decrease in the southwest monsoon rains. Arunachal Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh are also witnessing a decline. But these states in particular, this has been sort of a track record for a much longer period of time. And it's now Anuj, Vanshika, Abhishek, Paras, and Deepti, and we'll get into the next question. Double points for this one. This state to union territory recorded the highest number of heat wave days in 2021. Is it Uttarakhand, Andhra Pradesh, Delhi, or the state of Rajasthan? We're talking about heat waves, days of heat waves in 2021. The 13 of you that went for Uttarakhand, you are correct. In fact, this had a disproportionately higher number of heat waves compared to the other states and also compared to last year. 2019 was a very hot year for India, but by far 2021 has been especially unkind to Uttarakhand when it comes to the number of heat wave days. And of course, Rupesh will add the rest of the details in the chat box. So if you want to take a look at the source or you want to take a look at the other, well, Delhi, Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan, how many days of heat waves they had, you'll get to see that in there. All right. So the scoreboard, there's quite a bit of change. It's now Adhya, Shreyan, Sukla, Anuj, and Vanshika, and we'll get into the next question. Double points for this one as well. This state or union territory has recorded the highest number of landslides over the last 7 years. Is it Assam, West Bengal, Kerala, or Himachal Pradesh? Again, landslides largely attributed to heavy rainfall, but also to a lot of man-made issues. And 15 of you said Kerala, and you are right. Again, Kerala has had some of the highest number of landslides compared to any other state in the country. And it's now Sukla, Shreyan, Paras, Adya, and Mukesh. True or false, double points for this one. India reported the highest suicide rate in its history in 2021. Is this statement true or false? We're seeing 2021 was in particular the most deadly year for India when it comes to death by suicide. Yes, it is true. Now, it could be a combination, and there's a very, very nice story that has been reported in India Spend. It's by my colleague Prachi, and she's just looked at data gaps, and she's just not emphasized on so much on the reasons, etc., but talking about underreporting, the problem with underreporting, and also when certain states are very good in reporting and certain states are not very good in reporting, then, there are a lot of anomalies. But one of the biggest issues that we have is underreporting. And one of the interesting points that actually are raised in Prachi's article is why it's so important for death by suicide to be not reported or recorded by the police, but rather by the health system. So a lot of issues are also because in the death certificates, the cause of death is not mentioned clearly, and there is a whole police procedural process. So in that, there are a lot of underreporting that tends to happen. But yes, 2021 was this way or that, not really a good year when we talk about Indians suffering from issues and causing them to die by suicide. So it's now Sukla, Shreyan, Adya, Paras, and Mukesh. And another true or false and double points for this one. In India, attempt to die by suicide is a criminal offense. Is this statement true or false? So just the very attempt to commit or die by suicide is treated as a criminal offense. So 22 of you said false, and you are correct. In fact, in 2017, the attempt to die by suicide was decriminalized because already if you have reached that point, there are mental health issues, and it just gets exacerbated if it is treated as a crime. So this was decriminalized, but still we have a long way to go. All right. Now on the scoreboard, it's Sukla, Shreyan, Adya, Mukesh, and Vanshika. A few more questions. Don't worry. Double points for this one. You can always make up. In 2020-21, this state was the highest generator of plastic. So we're not talking about plastic waste, whatever, just the highest generator of plastic. Is it Gujarat, Punjab, Maharashtra, or Tamil Nadu? So 24 of you clearly are very, very aware of this. It is Maharashtra that is the highest generator of plastic. And then we all know what happens once it's generated. It really doesn't go anywhere where it ought to in the system. All right. So it's now Adya, Sukla, Shreyan, Mukesh, and Jitendra. And we'll get into the second last question. In 2020-21, less than X% of teachers across government and public schools in India, or rather private schools in India, were trained to use a computer for teaching. It's less than X teachers across government and private schools were trained to use a computer. Is it 10%, 30%, 15%, or 5%? So the 13 of you that went for the highest number, which was 30%, you are correct. That is one of the biggest issues, given the fact that now this is going to be a way of sort of teaching. I don't think, frankly, online teaching is really going to go away altogether. But the important aspect of training teachers, whether it's government or private schools, is clearly something that needs to be given more attention. So it's now Adya, Sukla, Shreyan, Mukesh, and Jitendra. And the last true or false, and double points for this one. I love this question. There has been an increase in admissions in government schools in 2020, 2021. Is this statement true or false? So we've seen two very interesting things. One, there has been an increase in enrollment in government schools in 2020-21, and there has been a decrease in enrollment in private schools at the same time. So clearly, parents, for whatever reason, and it could to a great extent be induced by issues with money, where they couldn't enroll their children in a private school and had to go to a government school. Irrespective, I think this just draws 2 points very clearly. One is that government schools, public education is extremely critical, because when citizens don't have the option or can't really afford market rates for private schools, they have a fallback option. Second is the fact that government schools are so critical for citizens makes it all the more incumbent, not just on the government, but also our own as citizens to participate and make sure that the government school system is made stronger. So whether it is by contributing to the school library, or probably joining an organization like Teach for India, or doing something in our own way which can strengthen the public school system, I think we should think of ways of what we can really do. So with that, we come to the end of this quiz, but don't go anywhere, because Meenal's coming up with her quiz. We've had a hilarious day today because some of our questions were really so close. So, and we didn't even see each other's questions. We work independently and create our own questions every week. So anyway, we've sorted that out now. So Meenal's going to come up with her set of 10 questions. So don't go anywhere. And I'm now going to show you the podium. And immediately after that, please take the game pin and log in for the Hindi quiz. She's got a fabulous, fabulous book by a very interesting author as well. So in third place has to be somebody from the Chabra family. Congratulations, Mukesh. In second place, we have Shreyan. And in the first place, we have Adya. Adya's, you've kind of collected a good set of books this year. I think you've done pretty well, actually. Would love to know the number of books you've actually collected. So congratulations to the three of you. And of course, next week we'll be back and we have such a fantastic lineup of books. Please don't go anywhere because we've actually got the best of books for the last half of the year, or rather last quarter of the year. So hi, Meenal, nice to see you. And yeah, with that, I'll hand you over. And I hope you have a fantastic quiz like I did. Bye.
Yes. Hello, good evening, and I welcome you all to the Hindi game of facts. अभी आपने English में ये quiz खेला है. अब जो questions होंगे वो हिंदी में होंगे. And thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you win the book because it's a very special book. और आज हम एक different kind of book आपको दे रहे हैं. तो सबसे पहले मैं अपनी screen share कर लेती हूँ so that you all can just put in the game pin very quickly. और क्योंकि poll questions नहीं है और हम एकदम से बस quiz start कर देंगे. So I'll just give you some time to take just put in your email ID and put your name in and just start the game while I screen share. और तब तक मैं आपको किताब के बारे में बता देती हूँ. So this book is by an author who's an actor, Rajesh Tailang, or you might recognize him from Selection Day. He was the father of the two kids. Then he's done Delhi Crimes, he's done Mirzapur. So he is the actor who has written this book. और ये एक पोएट्री है. This is a poetry book. This is a collection of Hindi poems. और इसका नाम है चांद पे चाय. तो आज के जो हमारे 3 विजेता होंगे, they will win this special book. And this book is very recently been launched. तो बहुत ही new है और it's written by an actor and it's a collection of amazing poems. So we will be really glad if you read it and let us know how you like it. और बस कुछ ही देर में मैं अपना क्विज स्टार्ट करने वाली हूँ. जैसा कि रश्मि ने कहा, कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं जो सिमिलर ग्राउंड्स पर हैं, सिमिलर टॉपिक्स पर हैं, बट इट्स ऑल डिफरेंट, इट्स ऑल न्यू, इट्स ऑलवेज न्यू. वी ऑलवेज गेट द 10 डिफरेंट सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस फॉर यू. सो आई होप दैट यू एंजॉय. और अगर आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है तो जस्ट वेट फॉर मी टू ट्रांसलेट इट इन इंग्लिश ऑल्सो, और आप जल्द से जल्द उत्तर दे पाएंगे. वेरी सिंपल इट्स गोना बी. एंड एज रश्मि सेड, देयर इज नो पोल क्वेश्चन. So हिंदी क्विज में भी, आज के हमारे हिंदी क्विज में भी कोई पोल क्वेश्चंस नहीं है. आई होप दैट यू एंजॉय दैट फैक्ट. आई एक्चुअली वुड लाइक टू नो कि कौन ऐसे लोग हैं जिन्हें एक्चुअल में पजल पसंद है. सो वील आल्सो नो कि ओके यू गाइस रियली लाइक द पजल्स, देन वी जस्ट कीप इट ऑलवेज. सो ओके, आई थिंक वी वर ऑल सेट टू बिगिन. तो शुरू करते हैं हमारे आज के क्विज के पहले क्वेश्चन से. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग इन. वी स्टिल हैव सम पीपल ज्वाइनिंग इन. गौरव, प्रिया, मुकेश, Vinay, Padmaja, Anuj. Always so good to see all these names joining us. Okay, let us begin with our first question. Ishashri is saying, let's keep the puzzles, they're cool. Okay, we'll take your point and we'll have them. We'll try to have them as and when it's possible. But it's really nice that somebody thinks that they're cool, which is great. So let's just begin with our quiz now. हमारा पहला क्वेश्चन फॉर डबल पॉइंट्स. भारत में महिलाओं के पास ऑपरेशनल फार्म होल्डिंग्स का प्रतिशत, परसेंटेज ऑफ ऑपरेशनल फार्म होल्डिंग्स ओन्ड बाय वुमेन इन इंडिया, आपके हिसाब से 54% है या 24% है, 14% है या 34% है? The ones who know how we are at Game of Facts, you might get the correct answer because आप थोड़ा सा हमारे पैटर्न को समझ चुके हैं, अपने बायसेस को टेस्ट करना समझ चुके हैं. So here we have the answer with us. And 17 of you got this correct. जो सही उत्तर है that is 14%, just 14, only 14% of the women in India, they own operational farm holdings. तो चलते हैं हमारे स्कोरबोर्ड की तरफ. पहले क्वेश्चन के बाद वी हैव टॉम, रोहित, कार्तिकेय, शर्वानी एंड अखिल, एमएसटी अखिल, who have just taken their position, taken their lead. Let's go on to our next question. ग्रामीण भारत में 4 में से 3 से अधिक महिलाएं कृषि में लगी हुई हैं, यानी कि more than 3 in 4 women in rural India are engaged in agriculture. क्या ये सही है या गलत? 31 of you got this correct. This is actually true. And in comparison to the men, sirf jo 55% of men hai, they are engaged in comparison to men, this is 55% of men who are engaged in agriculture. और इसके साथ हमारा स्कोरबोर्ड आपके सामने है. We have now Kartikeya, MSD Akhil, Adit, Tom, and Mayur. I think Adit and Mayur just entered the scoreboard in this question. Let's go to our next question because this is very dynamic. So आप यहीं पर आप just stay at it, just start giving the answers. कभी-कभी थोड़ा सा सोच सकते हैं कि हाँ थोड़ा अपना bias को side रख के आप answer कर सकते हैं and you might just get it correct. Double points for this one as well. महिलाओं द्वारा श्रम बल यानी कि लेबर फोर्स की भागीदारी. Labor force participation by women. Is it 32.5%, 42.5%, 22.5%, or 12.5%? We're talking about labor force participation by women. 32, 22, 42, or 12%. And just so 10 of you got this one correct. It is 32.5%. और ये जो latest data है हमारे पास, as per that, जो labor force participation by women है, it has been actually at the highest in the last in 4 years. Or this is largely driven by more women in rural areas who are joining the workforce. So जो rural areas में यानी कि ग्रामीण भारत में महिलाएं हैं, उनका योगदान ज़्यादा है. और उसकी वजह से this increase is what you can see. And with this, our scoreboard here once again totally changed because obviously double points. So now we have Paras, Isha, Shruti, Rohit, and Kartikeya. चलते हैं हमारे अगले क्वेश्चन की तरफ. ग्रामीण भारत में पुरुषों की तुलना में महिलाएं घरेलू काम पर प्रतिदिन 3 गुना से अधिक समय बिताती हैं. Women in rural India spend more than thrice the time spent by men per day on domestic work. क्या आपके हिसाब से ये सही है या गलत? In rural India, we're talking about women who are in rural India. They spend more than thrice. Okay, so 36 of you got this correct. When you talk about women, it's about 301 minutes per day. और वहीं as far as men are concerned, it's 98 minutes per day for domestic work at home. Or which is almost 3 times more than what women do. More than what men do. So it's 3 times more for women than what men do. And with this very slight shift, so we'll just go on to our next question because we want to see how the scoreboard looks after that. प्रतिबंधित सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक उत्पादों के लिए उपयोग किया गया प्लास्टिक का हिस्सा भारत में कुल प्लास्टिक कचरे का 20% है. यानी कि the share of plastic used for the recently banned single-use plastic products is 20% of the total plastic generated in India. Total plastic waste generated in India. क्या आपके हिसाब से ये सही है या गलत? So we're talking about the total plastic waste that's generated. उसका सिर्फ जो ये single-use plastic जो ban हुआ है recently, that's just 20%. And this is actually false. It's not 20%. It's very low. जो single-use plastic ban अभी recently हुआ है, that includes straws, earbuds, and a lot many items. It's actually just 2 to 3% of the total plastic production, total plastic waste production that happens in our country. और ये इतना कम है कि जो overall significant, अगर हम overall plastic waste की बात करें उसके सामने बहुत insignificant लगता है. So with this scoreboard, we have Shruti, Isha, Rohit. I think the same names again, just some positions have changed. So we will go on to our next question and see what that is. Double points, so all the best. भारत ने 2020-21 में लगभग X million ton प्लास्टिक का उत्पादन किया. India generated nearly X million tons of plastic in 2020-2021. आपके options हैं 1.5 million tons, 2.5 million tons, 3.5 million tons या 5.5 million tons. 17 of you got this one correct. जैसा कि हमने पिछले क्विज में भी, रश्मि के क्विज में भी देखा, 2020-2021 में जो प्लास्टिक प्रोडक्शन, जो वेस्ट प्रोडक्शन था, that was the highest in Maharashtra. और ये 2020-2021 में nearly 3.5 million tons of plastic was actually generated, and Maharashtra was leading with 13%, then followed by Tamil Nadu and Punjab at 12% each. So with this, we move on to our scoreboard once again. Shruti, Isha, Paras, MSD Akhil and Rohit. हमारा अगला क्वेश्चन, भारत की प्लास्टिक रिसाइकलिंग क्षमता कुल उत्पादित प्लास्टिक का लगभग आधा है. India's plastic recycling capacity is about half of the total plastic generated. क्या आपके हिसाब से ये सही है या गलत? जो हमारे ओवरऑल प्लास्टिक जितना भी प्रोड्यूस होता है उसमें से सिर्फ आधा ही रिसाइकल हो पाता है. Is that okay? So yeah, so 21 of you got this correct. This is true, and at 1.56 million tons per annum, it is only half of the total that is actually produced. So we saw it's about 3.5 million tons of plastic that was generated, और जो recycle हुआ, that's just 1.5%, 1.5 million tons. So with this, our scoreboard. Okay, I think you guys are just catching up with each other after every question. तो चलते हैं हमारे अगले क्वेश्चन की तरफ. भारत में प्रति 1 लाख जनसंख्या पर आत्महत्या की संख्या. Number of suicides per 1 lakh population in India. Is it 6, 12, 1 or 26? Per 1 lakh population, which is 100,000 population, पर कितने suicide होते हैं? Eighteen of you got this one correct. It is 12 suicides for every 100,000 population, for every 1 lakh population. और this was maximum in the year 2021. This was हमारी पूरी हिस्ट्री में ये 2021 में सबसे ज्यादा था. और जो भारत में प्रति 1 लाख जनसंख्या है उस पर 12 लोग आत्महत्या करते हैं. So with this, we have our scoreboard here. Okay, Shantanu has just entered the scoreboard. It's very slight shift, but good to see some change. Now we're just left with 2 questions. So I would suggest that you stay at it because anything can happen with double points. आत्महत्या से होने वाली मौतों की दर इन 2 राज्यों में सबसे ज्यादा थी. The rate of deaths by suicides were highest in these 2 states. So आपके जो options हैं, that is केरल और मिजोरम, केरल और तेलंगाना, केरल और पंजाब, केरल और गोवा. So Kerala we know is the constant. Now if you just see which is the other state जहां पर maximum suicides हुए हैं. And 10 of you got this one correct. It's Kerala and Telangana. This was about 27 suicides per 1 lakh population, which is a lot, which is a huge number. और this was actually seen, ये जो ज़्यादा suicides का rate है, that was actually seen in larger cities, which are the bigger cities. So Kerala and Telangana is the correct answer. And with this, our scoreboard for the last time, Kartikeya just made it in time. Let's see what our podium would look like after this question. So we have Shruti, Isha, MSD Akhil, Kartikeya and Paras. And Domi is the highest climber with this one. Last question for you for today. And the 3 winners will get to go with Chand Pe Chai by Rajesh Tailang. 70% से अधिक आत्महत्याएं महिलाओं द्वारा की गई. More than 70% suicides were committed by women. क्या ये सही है या गलत? Oh wow, this is I thought more of I mean majority of you would get this one correct because हमने काफी बार इस data point को different ways में आपसे पूछा है, कभी percentage में या कभी more men committed suicide than women ऐसा करके. So but I thought that most of you would remember. So what I'm gaining, what I'm understanding with this is that you don't really pay attention to the previous questions, but what we tend to do is हम एक question को कभी कभार उसके different aspects से पूछने की कोशिश करते हैं, and that's what we did here. So this is actually false, or it's actually the opposite. About 72.5% of men committed suicide and not women. So जो suicide rate है, that is higher amongst men than women. And with this, we have our podium in front of us. So हमारे quiz के जो winners हैं, third position पे we have Isha, second position Paras, and first position we have Shruti. Okay, I don't think I saw your name during the quiz. Otherwise, then we have MSD Akhil and Anuj, who are the runners up. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you will love the book, the three of you that you're going to receive. Please do join us next week as well. It's just lovely having you every week here with us to play the game of facts. क्योंकि हम हर बार बहुत कोशिश करते हैं that these 10 different questions just change your perspective in some way. They give you, we try to give you different types of data, facts, और हमें बहुत अच्छा लगता है जब आप हमारे साथ आकर जुड़ते हैं और ये गेम खेलते हैं. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week once again. Till then, have a lovely weekend. Bye.